looks good. Like I said, it's not super scripted, so there's nothing we really have to worry about. That's kind of like the nice thing. Like,
Yeah.
whereas like on the shrine, it's like okay, they have that like layout where it's like the perfect, try to make
Well, this
everything.
is like my first interview, I want to say,
Mm.
for Gauntlet, so this is perfect.
It's cool though, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're live right now, but I figure we just wait a couple minutes, like to kind of let people get in and stuff, just kind of like flow in.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like we'll hold off on the Gauntlet talk, but I figure we could just talk general BlizzCon. Oh, we
Oh
already got one
man,
guy. Totally
BlizzCon,
forgot.
BlizzCon. I just three foreigners, Need versus Dark. Just all the things, man. I'm so excited for it.
What match are you excited for the most? Like
Need
on this
versus Dark.
Neve versus Dark,
Absolutely.
and who do you think's gonna win that series?
I think Dark is probably going to win it, but I really want Need to put up a good
Yeah,
fight.
that's like
Dark is people like to kind of say that Dark is sloppy, but he is really good. I mean, he's
yeah.
sharp, really sharp.
I mean,
Like he,
I'm like the same. Like I really want I really do want Neeb to win, but I think
yeah.
I think Dark's gonna win.
Neeb has some of the best like reactions and
Mm.
just control I've seen. Like, if you ever watch him stream,
Oh
his
yeah,
like speed, how fast he plays is
oh
just
yeah.
amazing.
And
So I
he's so
think
precise.
yeah.
The biggest
So
thing I
he
oh go
he
ahead.
has a chance.
Yeah,
He definitely has a chance. Is what I'm going to say. But Dark, he's really scary because he'll do a lot of builds, and that's the thing that's Neeb's weakness, right? I mean,
yeah,
if he can catch you with, if someone can catch him with a four gate or something or whatever
right.
Zest did.
Well, that's the thing. I actually think Zest kind of beat him at his own game with Disruptor, Blink, Stalker. So, I mean, that was kind of weird to see too. And then he got the Phoenixes going too. I mean, he kind of had like the counter for it. It's
Yeah,
like I kind of feel like everyone's like kind of got Neeb figured out. For like his style, and I think that's his biggest problem. They've kind of got
yeah,
the Neeb figured out.
yeah. I mean, that is one thing because I know that he likes to go that late game.
Mm,
So if you can surprise him with something that he hasn't seen in a while or that you haven't shown,
sure,
he's definitely. We saw Thermal just completely dominate him.
right,
I can't remember what series that
right.
was.
I mean, one
It's
of
funny whenever I'm watching other people talk about tournaments, I can always remember. But now that I'm live on the show, I can't remember any of the names of these events.
that's
So
okay, man.
whatever.
I know you feel like we get on there, and sometimes it's like games that I haven't watched person. It's like, oh yeah, I don't remember if I remember that one or not, but
Yeah,
like 90%
yeah,
of the stuff I do watch, but sometimes it like bleeds together. I mean, there's like so much StarCraft to watch. It's hard to keep track of it all.
yeah. Especially when you have a day job, it's really hard
Oh
to watch
yeah.
all the stuff and really pay attention to
I
everything.
was lucky. I was lucky with the other rounds. Like I kept tweeting him like I've successfully hit. It's been like 8 hours at work, and I've successfully done zero work. I've watched StarCraft literally all day. Like I didn't do shit when it was on. It was actually pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yeah,
I just have like one of those jobs where if I don't have anything coming into me, then I don't need to do anything.
right.
Because I basically what I do is I'm like a marketing manager. So if I don't have any orders coming in that I need to review or to
Hmm.
process, it's just like, okay, like I'm just sitting here. Like I'm not CC'd on any emails. Like I just kind of got lucky that day where I was like, I'm just going to watch this and I'm just not going to talk to anyone. And I like ate lunch at my desk and shit. Like I
Yeah,
was like a total shut in that day. I was like, hey, where were you at lunch? I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Opening
I was
week at
busy.
BlizzCon, I really didn't care if people saw me looking at my phone.
Right?
I didn't care. I didn't
It's
care.
funny how you get in that mode like, oh fuck, this is just so important to me right
Yeah,
now.
I don't
I
care.
just don't care.
You like what you like, and I like StarCraft, so it is what it
Exactly.
is.
Like I used to kind of hide it, like at like previous jobs and stuff, like what a huge nerd I was. And when I started with this, I was like, "Fuck that!" Like, I'm fucking me. I love fantasy football and StarCraft, man. This is what I love. Like,
Yeah,
so, but I don't know. But yeah, just speaking of BlizzCon, obviously you're there, which is fucking awesome. And we're just talking about matches for everyone who's kind of joining us. What do you think of Showtime? What do you think of him like beating Beyond 2-0?
that was really impressive to see. I think Showtime is one of the smartest players
Mm-hmm.
around, and I think he definitely saw some things in his play and Beyond's play,
Yeah.
and really just played awesome. I mean, the I know Artosis and then we're talking about it, how it's really hard to control Colossus, Tempest, and Storm, and
all at the same time.
really, yeah, and really do that effectively. And he did. He shut down Beyond pretty hard, but
Yeah.
at the same time, Beyond now knows the cat's out of the bag, and
Well, one of the cool things with that too, and I don't know, like I've always kind of liked Showtime, like he's been a good player and stuff. But obviously getting this far, it's like I really do like him, and I was like, oh yeah, I like his odds. But like, so I don't know if you heard this storyline, but after he lost to Beyond asked him for help, and Showtime helped
yeah,
him.
I heard that.
Like
Yeah,
that
was awesome.
The sportsmanship there, like that's
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly like fucking unreal. Like
Yeah,
my hats are
def-
off to him for just being like one of the best dudes in esports, right? Like honestly, if that was me, I'd be like, fuck no, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm sorry.
I kind of thought that too. If he would have said no, that would have been perfectly all right.
I would have been like, I'm sorry, but no. Like I wouldn't have been a jerk about it. But I would have been like, no, I'm sorry. Like I want to win too. Like I don't want you to win.
Yeah.
Like no offense.
I think Showtime is definitely overall on a close level to Neeb. I mean, probably the same level.
Yeah, just different.
He won a championship in WCS.
Yeah. Well, what we kind of talked about with with Puck yesterday is where Showtime really excels is in his control groups. Being able to have such good control with so many different units, that's where he really excels. Now that doesn't necessarily translate into good micro like Neeb has, but if you're playing a late game, sometimes like I don't want to get into the cliche of the Protoss death ball, but once you kind of get that max out, it's more about control groups than individual micro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that in my opinion, the difference between Neeb and Showtime is Neeb, he's got that killer mentality where he'll pull off engagements with units, and you don't necessarily think he's going to win, but he'll pull it out. And Showtime is more of like a calculated player who wants to use those control groups and kind of beat you down in all phases, where Neeb can really turn the game on a dime pretty quick.
Right. Well, and he even had said that he had studied, like he had watched like every match Beyond had played, that Beyond had played, and that's when he realized that he would have been weak to like that early Colossus. Like for him just to review and just like figure that out, like he's such like an analytical player. Like it's pretty impressive. I feel like we haven't seen someone like that for like such a long time. You know what I mean? Like most of these guys have like the natural talent and they do practice and everything. But I feel like for someone to just be able to analyze like play like that, like he's like the Bill Belichick of StarCraft too.
Yeah, and being able to execute it too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's impressive. That's why I'm a fan of professional StarCraft, because when I play, it's just so difficult to keep up with everything and to do all these things, and to see these pros do it at such fast speed. It's cool to see. It really is.
I think what's worse is like when you should be doing something and you like can't tell your fingers to do it. It's like, fuck you, why don't you work? Just do what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah. You see your medevac like just coming across, and it's about to get shot down, and you just can't grab it.
Yeah, but like no, like when I try to blink stalkers, it's like, oh, he died. Like I'm not fast enough to blink him back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that bracket then, so we're gonna have a laser versus Showtime. Do you think Showtime will beat a laser?
I think Showtime probably will beat a laser. And recent results would say that a laser would probably win this, but Showtime to me is he performs really well on the stage. He's shown it before, and I think that is the biggest theme for me out of WCS this year is just stage time for these guys.
Right.
Being able to get up there, get experience, and not that a laser hasn't played in front of a crowd before, but I'm gonna go with Showtime there.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, we know Showtime has good PvZ. I mean, he beat Nurchio, in some pretty convincing, games prior to this year. So we know he has good, PvZ, and we've seen his PvT, and and I mean he's pretty well rounded. So I do like his odds. I want to say he's probably my favorite foreigner to win the whole thing. I think, like I said, I think Neeb is going to lose the dark, but I think Showtime could go the distance.
Yeah. It's funny. Neeb was just beating every Zerg he could find a few weeks ago. And so we'll see. I think Neeb could definitely go the distance too. But
if he beats Dark. you know what?
Yeah, if he beats
If he
Dark.
does beat Dark, then I do give him better odds. But
Yeah.
if he does lose to Dark, well, obviously then he's out. But you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying. Like, I just don't,
Yeah.
if he,
I think Ty is the favorite for me to win it all.
I do like Ty. I think
He's just super solid, and Bjorn. Bjorn is really good too, but Bjorn is kind of this guy who's not the royal roader, but he wins GSL
mhm.
without a team, first ever. So he's kind of, I don't want to say he's plateaued, but I think maybe he has, and he's kind of satisfied with that.
I mean, we'll
And
see.
I just feel like Ty has definitely got it in him.
I
I
mean,
don't think Neeb could beat Ty. I don't think Neeb could beat Bjorn either.
that's tough. I mean, this will be the biggest test to see is what happens with that matchup. I think it's a shame that they had to play each other because I would have liked to see them, like play someone else and both make it a little bit farther, perhaps. But I guess we are guaranteed, TV whatever in the round of 4, so we're at least going to keep it interesting. I'm not for sure though. Like I know like Bjorn, he hasn't been like playing the best games, but like I feel like it's just so hard to count him out. And the same thing with Ty. Like they're both like, oh my god, like how they were like they basically say like there's 4 races, there's Protoss, Zerg, Terran, and then Korean Terran. Like they
Yeah.
are the quintessential, Korean Terran. Like they are the best.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with that one. I want to say that one's an honest to god 50.
Yeah, you're really. I mean, yeah. It's how can you pick really? I mean, you can look at Ty's record, and I saw the StarCraft where they said he's like 27-0 in TVTs recently or something like that. So you can try to guess, but I just feel like Ty at the end of the day is probably a bit hungrier than Bjorn
Yeah.
is right now. I mean, I don't know that obviously, but man, a really good Korean Terran, that's a scary thing. That's really scary.
A good Korean Terran is hard to beat.
Right? It's just,
That's the
you
truth.
know,
You know.
Terran can
Um.
be just so efficient, and
Yeah. And then in the final matchup, we're gonna see Zest versus Patience, right? Yeah, Patience. I mean, to me, we saw Patience lose to Neeb. I mean, I'm kind of using that as like the base off because we saw Patience lose to him, and then take a game
well,
off.
it's stats actually. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that's
sure
right.
it's
Nope,
stats. Yeah,
you're right. Never
yeah,
mind.
stats.
Never mind.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I still think Zest. That's right. Zest stats. I still think Zest has my vote to win, though. I think
Yeah,
Zest is
that's a
better
coin
player.
flip to me, but Zest he seems really
We
motivated,
know Zest PvP is
and
insane, right? Like especially right
yeah,
now. Like
yeah, it's really good.
I think he's probably. I think you could safely say he has the best PvP in the world right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because it was game 2 or 3, Zest versus Neeb, and Neeb had kind of a lead going into the late game in that disruptor battle, thing we see,
Yeah.
and Zest took him out at Neeb's own game. And that to me was kind of scary, really scary.
Right.
I think
Right.
it was game 1 actually because that was kind of back and forth, and obviously disruptors, it's you get one hit and it's
Right.
game changing, but
Well, then it was either that
you just
same.
don't see that very often with Neeb. So when Zest kind of behind comes back and wins, that was really an eyebrow raiser.
Right. Right. And it was either that same game or the game after when he brought in the Phoenixes and was using that as a counter to the disruptors as well. But it was almost kind of like an FU to Neeb, like I can do this too just as well.
Yeah,
Like kind of
basically.
just rub it in his face, like you're really not the best at this. Like I can do this at the same level and beat you at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like like I said, I like Zest odds, but yeah, I mean we'll just kind of have to see. I mean that's what tomorrow's for.
Yeah.
God, I'm like giddy. Like, is that bad? Like,
No, it's
oh,
not.
like I just want to.
I know. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
It's like Christmas, right? Like I just want to like unwrap this gift that is the round of 8 and just see what happens. I get into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not at BlizzCon. I am going to what I've crowned the Midwest Meetup, which is basically anyone that still likes StarCraft that lives in my tri-state. Which, from the looks of it, is only going to be about 10 of us. So pretty small, but it'll still be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Get together and
Little viewing
watch the
party, a
games.
little mini land. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, who do you think? Like, who is the? How do you? I kind of lost my train of thought there. Who do you think is going to win the whole thing? I guess is what I was trying to say. Like, who is
I
your
think
favorite to win?
Ty. I'm gonna go with
Ty.
Ty.
Okay. Yeah, I think. God, I have a hard time disagreeing with that.
Yeah, you could really pick. You could pick almost anyone.
Right. I mean,
But
well,
Ty to
that's the
me, and
point.
I guess I'll go in a little more. I mean, I just think I just think he really wants it. You know, Pro League just disbanded. KT StarCraft is disbanded. I'm 99% sure.
Yeah.
So to me, he really wants to perform here, and he's good enough to do it. So yeah, I think he'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, that's just such a. Like I said, just because they're all so good, it's just so hard to pick. Like,
Yeah.
who like. Okay, so like, I want Showtime to win it all because I want a foreigner to win, and I think he has the best odds.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be going crazy for Neeb. I mean, no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Same
I'm
again.
gonna
I
cheer my
want
heart out for Neeb.
absolutely like I want him to win more than anything. But like I said, I just don't like his odds as much right now. But that being said, for the whole thing, yeah, I want to agree with you, Ty. But I think Dark also has good odds. I think he's almost the like kind of like someone that's overlooked to win the whole thing. Like he's gotten there, and everyone's like, yeah, he's good, but like whatever. But I think the way he's played and what we've seen from Dark so far, I really do think he could take the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So, but it'll be tough, But like I said, like that just makes the games like that much more like worthwhile to watch, and like make them enjoyable.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
got
man, looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome.
yeah, definitely. Well, we've got a decent crowd here, so let's kind of to start like the meat and potato of what the show is going to be about today. So everyone, this is Toast Talks. So what this is it's a pretty loose interpretation of I don't know whatever I want it to be. That's kind of the point, But what it's basically going to be is I'm gonna have a weekly guest, and look for this maybe twice a week sometimes. I mean not always, but at least once per week, along with the DankShrine. And we're just going to kind of talk to community members, not necessarily players, more so other people that are involved in the community, to give them more of a way to talk and interact. Kind of, how do I want to say it? Bring the behind the scenes to the front row. You know what I'm saying? To meet the people behind the curtain, if you will.
Yeah.
So who I have with me right now, if you don't know, this is Ctone. Ctone, would you say you own Gauntlet StarCraft 2? Are you the owner?
Yeah, I started Gauntlet StarCraft and I sponsor it.
Okay, perfect. So exactly. So welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Like I feel one of the reasons why I wanted to grab you, and I know most people that are watching are familiar with your stuff. And guys, please take a quick second here to share this video. If you have any friends that are online that love StarCraft, and either like Gauntlet events or like the DankShrine, and you don't see them in here, tweet it, let them know, like get them in here. We're gonna be talking for like at least the next hour about stuff. It's it's always good to get the community's opinion, and we're gonna kind of do like a Q&A at the end with our chat to see if you guys have any questions for us moving forward and anything else.
Yeah.
But I digress. The first thing I wanted to talk about is where did the original idea for Gauntlet come from? Like where were you at, and like what were you doing when it first came about?
Yeah, so really I've been a fan of RTS my entire life and played StarCraft since 2010. And I just wanted to give back, I guess, to the scene. And really, there wasn't a whole lot of original content coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say that as a derogatory thing towards other organizers, but it was just
Right.
It just felt a little stale. So I wanted to just try to bring something else to the table. And so I started poking around on Reddit and Team Liquid and stuff, saying that I was interested in sponsoring some stuff and that I wanted some kind of creative control, was my only stipulation. And Element actually reached out to me on Reddit and said, hey, let's get to talking and let's figure something out. And that's really kind of how it started right there. We just got on Skype, started
Right.
talking to each other, and that's really how Gauntlet StarCraft was born. Was through that.
When
Because
would
I knew that I wasn't going to have the time to necessarily produce all
Mhm.
the stuff. But I would definitely had a bunch of ideas,
Right.
and I wanted to collaborate and do, different things
Right.
to.
Well, like I was kind of saying, it's nice to meet like the man behind the curtain. Like, we all know, Bobby Awesome, an Element, from
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
shows. But yeah, like you're like the silent partner that we haven't heard from. And this, like I
yeah.
said, this
And
is
I
exactly what the
kind of
show is
wanted it that
for.
way.
Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I kind of wanted it that way. I didn't want to come out and be like, "Hey guys, I'm throwing, I'm sponsoring this, I'm doing
Right.
that, come look at me." I'm not really like
It
that.
was more like a humble beginning. Like it's like I really want to
Yeah,
I want to earn it.
yeah. We just wanted to, we just wanted to go quietly about our business and
Right.
just, yeah. I mean, because what we do, we try to really push the limit as far as what you can do on the technical side.
Mm.
So for us, the proof is in the pudding. Basically, is what we think. At the end of the day, we don't really need to go out there and do and try too hard.
Right.
I
I
mean,
mean, you
we do
guys'
try, obviously.
yeah. I mean, your guys' production level, and I've told you this before, is so good. It's so crisp. Like your overlays and the intros and everything that those guys do on stream is so impressive.
Mhm.
And it's like one of those things where it's almost like hard to believe that it's like this good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like impressive
yeah.
to
I
the point
mean,
where like, what the
people
fuck?
are a little confused by it. I would think. I mean, we broadcast in 1080p at 60 frames,
Right.
and, at the highest settings in game with overlays and picture and stuff that other people I don't think have really figured out yet.
Right.
And it comes down to just a lot of hard work is really what it comes down to. A lot of that stuff, pretty much all of it is custom made. So, they and a lot of testing. So there's a
Yeah.
lot more we could talk about this. I can go on about this for a while, but yeah, I mean that they really want to push the limit and do things. And a lot of times I have to I have to rein Element back in, man. I mean he goes crazy sometimes just making videos and stuff, and I'm like, man, people aren't going to understand that meme.
We gotta
They're
get you
just
under we
not.
gotta get you
You
under
gotta,
control here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The one thing that stuck
So
out to you isn't always the the one thing that stuck out for everyone.
yeah,
But that's so cool. Like they just started from like such a humble beginning and grew to what it is, and I feel like it's an ever growing thing for you guys. Like I feel like you're
yeah.
nowhere near done growing.
No, we're not. I mean,
Like you're in the growing pain stage. You're like, oh, we're so
yeah,
much
we're the awkward
ready
new
for
kid.
more.
We're the awkward new kid right now,
Right?
and I kind of embrace that.
I'm like the infant.
I moved. I used to move when I was a kid in high school, so I'm kind of used to being the new kid. Doesn't bother me too much, but
Well, like I said, I mean,
that's okay.
how long has Gauntlet officially been a thing?
So we started talking in March, I think, of 2015,
Okay.
and then our first event was in May. And we had just a good thing going on because Element at the time was the head ESL admin.
Hmm.
So he's been doing community cubs for years now. He's
Right.
got a bunch of contacts, and he was looking to branch out and do his own thing because Bob and Element have their own channel that they created before they got involved with Gauntlet called Nexus Recall. They
Right.
have a video series there and they do stuff. So, they were looking to branch out, and it was kind of one of those things where, it was mutually beneficial. And
Right. I know we've kind of talked, about things like that too, where it's, when you're on like the same path, it's almost like rather than like trying to compete, when it's like someone who you really click with, it's like it just makes more sense just to collaborate. The more you collaborate, the different
yeah,
ideas you get out there, and sometimes it just takes like that outside eye to bring something up like, holy shit, like I never thought of that. Like that's like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
obvious, but it's like
We
I just never
talk,
thought of
and
it.
that we've all had ideas that get shot down by someone else
Right.
because sometimes just if you're not involved with it and you can see from a different perspective.
Definitely.
And we definitely have a lot of good chemistry going on.
Yeah.
It's not to say that we haven't had our bumps in the road, but we've we've just improved a lot, and I think Element just posted something on Reddit, kind of
Like a year
his
review,
thoughts
basically.
on a year review, and I agree with a lot of what he says in there, and that's basically kind of what we've been talking about for the past year or two. But we just you ask how Gauntlet started, and what was the theme behind it. We didn't really, when we started, it was more kind of like, what can we do to make a splash?
Sure.
So we started throwing some pretty good sized money events, like $1,000, and we had J-Dong in our first event ever. So that was just, what a better way to come into the scene than to have J-Dong. So we did that, and we've had some growing pains along the way, but we're starting to broadcast more now, and we're actually starting to see a lot of growth.
Right.
Just because when you cast 2-3 times a week, you get some regulars coming in there, you get more subs,
right, absolutely.
And it's really turning into something good.
Right. I mean, to be honest, you guys are a real inspiration, I think, to the community, and anyone who thinks, like it's too late for me. It's not. Like if you're out there and you have passion and you want to create content, do it. Because just remember that no one ever succeeded by quitting.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't take the shot, you'll never hit anything, right?
Exactly.
You have to take the shot.
Exactly. People have already asked me, like, Toast, like, what are you doing, man? Like I don't know if you remember, like, our first 2 shows, they were awful. I was traveling, like, but it was just where we started, and I was like, it was just something that I wanted to do, and people like, this is like shit, like you should just quit. And I was like, at this point, I don't really care. Like, I like doing it, and if one person watches and they enjoyed it, then I did a good job. That's how I took it. And then fortunately enough, Reddit was very merciful when I was like, hey guys, this is kind of a new show idea. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm open for criticisms. I know it kind of sucks, but what do you think? And it was like overwhelmingly positive, to be honest. There was only like 1 or 2 like negative people that had like negative, like, just like jerky things to say that weren't like being constructive. And I took it all with a grain of salt. But, now, we've got our first sponsorship with MMO Coach, which is cool. We're expanding. We're looking at bringing in different partners and stuff. I mean, things for us are growing at a nice rate. We've gotten better and better guests every time. Like, it's just like one of those things where it's been just like something that's like really special to like have it happen for me. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like you with this. It's like it just grew in front of you, and it's like kind of like this amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've getting a sub button, and now I think we have over, I don't know how many subs we have, but we're getting close to 75. So, things are going really well.
Yeah. It's definitely a process, It's not it's like, and that's something that I've realized. It's not something that you can just come into and just expect okay, so you look at like BlizzCon, it's like, okay, like at least like 60,000 people are going to watch at a minimum on Twitch. So it's like, well, then clearly I should have at least 60,000 people watching my, videos on YouTube, right? Like that's how that translates.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to come in it, with a good frame of mind. But moving on, I kind of want to talk about like with what's current with Gauntlet. And I think how long have you guys been doing the bobbins things for?
We've been doing the bobbins for 2-3 months now.
Okay, so that's like the newest, I would say, newest thing that's been going on with it, right? Like that's like the newest, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just looking to get chat interaction and
right, but
get them to bed.
But I like it. That's what I wanted to go with. Like, I feel like that's actually working out like extremely well. Like, was that like kind of like a passive thing where you're like, yeah, like I guess it might work, but like you're like, let's just try it, or were you guys pretty much like, no, like we think this can actually?
We're pretty particular. We don't like to bring anything on the stream that hasn't been tested over and over, and like I just don't really like. I just really want the experience to be really clean.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Like I don't want the chat. I don't want mods banning everyone. I don't want. Spamming I just don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. So.
Right.
The Revlo thing. It took us a while to get used to it, but now that we have it figured out and. Because you can have rewards, and that's really the cool thing for us is, you spend time, you bet, you get some bonus, because I go in there and bonus, bobbins all the time just for fun. But, I think that interaction is a big deal to people. I think they appreciate that, and and
Yeah.
we appreciate that. We appreciate all these people that come by, time and time again. It's always amazing to see, and it just feels really good.
Yeah,
It always feels good.
definitely. I think it brings like more engagement into it, and like you said, it kind of like, I mean, everyone likes to watch, but it like gives another reason to watch and like also to participate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most sports have like that, like I'll use like fantasy football and as an example. A lot of people like to watch it. And before I did it personally, I watched my Giants games, and that's all I was really interested in. I pretty much had no interest in watching anything else.
I agree with that.
But then I really got into it, and it gave me like every game. Like I don't even care. Like the game you're watching right now, I've got 3 players playing right now. Like, they all matter to me. Where it's nice, and I feel like I have a greater appreciation for the game itself, and I feel like that's like the same thing with that. Like everyone has like a great appreciation for the game because they're paying more attention and stuff, and they're being more interactive with each other.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just fun. That's what we're really about, is having fun and trying to make it a positive experience all the way around. And however we can do that, we'll do it. Revlo has been a good addition. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what else I can add to the discussion. The rewards, I think, are the biggest thing that really turn things around, because you can get your name on a wall that they show on screen, and some other thing. I haven't even seen all the rewards. Element, he's a meme master. I don't understand half of his memes sometimes. So he's got whatever he's got going on there. I trust him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blame Bob. #blame Bob 2016.
Yeah, just blame Bob for anything. Anytime Bob gets blamed, I know it's Element's fault.
Yeah, blame Bob.
You just know it. I kind of know it's Element's fault, but Bob is the one getting blamed. It's all good.
It's a good meme.
Actually, Bob has done some things in the past that's pretty funny. They just have great chemistry. They really do. I mean, Element can tell the split second when Bob is not looking or not paying attention. He's looking at chat. Like, it takes Element like literally like 2 seconds to recognize it. He's like, "Bob, you looking at chat again?" It's like, no.
Yeah, they do have such a good back and forth. I mean, it's obviously being smaller and stuff, it's not as recognized, but like it's kind of like the tasteless artosis. It's like you can just tell. It's like when people are good friends like that, they just feed off each other, that energy.
The feedback has been so overwhelmingly positive. It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
So you just you hope that translates to growth.
Absolutely.
But that's what we're seeing. We're seeing growth. So. And I think they do. They definitely have a good chemistry, and you can tell they've been friends for a long time. Sometimes I think Element's a little too hard on Bob, but it's Bob can take it.
That's the relationship.
He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy. So.
Yeah, exactly. Element's the big brother. Bob's the little brother. Like Bob's just got to take it sometimes.
Yeah. This is kind of how it is.
Okay, so we kind of hit on just the past of where you guys came from and kind of where we're at. Was there anything else you wanted to add to the where we're at right now? Like, do you guys have anything else currently going on? I know we just did the you versus Scarlet. What would you call that? A tournament, or what would we call that?
That was just a once-off event, just for fun. Okay. I threw $50 in there, and the prize pool grew to $300.
Yeah, that was impressive.
And that was one of the best events that we've run.
Yeah,
just in terms of like interaction and people. So I've been posting threads on Team Liquid for over a year now, and Reddit too, trying to get people to sign up for like cash qualifier events or we always try to incentivize players to play, but it's just not that easy. It's really not. You can throw $50 at a qualifier and say, well, yeah, everyone's going to play in that. Why not?
Right, exactly.
But sometimes they won't. They'll play in an event that's less than that, or they'll just simply won't sign up. They won't see it.
Right.
So you really always trying to get people to play.
Right.
I kind of jumped off subject there. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, because it kind of brought me to my next point. So I mean, you kind of said like the Scarlet thing was kind of like just wanted to kind of see what would happen. Are there any plans to do something similar with a different player in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I remember what I was going to say. Just in terms of whenever you have a Scarlet versus you, it really brought back memories of the TL Attack days.
Yeah. Which
is kind of the same format. So 2-3 pages, of comments, where before, when you post a page, it rarely gets past 1 page,
Right.
So, you kind of look out for things like that. And we're definitely going to do stuff like that more because that's just so much fun.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to receive that beating. It
Right.
really is. Like there's just not, it's okay. Like we're not as good as
Yeah.
she is.
I was actually,
It's not.
and I was only able to watch, part of it over my lunch period. Did anyone end up beating her with the challenges?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Element, can we get a confirmation?
I couldn't watch all the matches. Unfortunately, I had to do some things at work, but I don't think she lost a single game.
And she had some ridiculous stuff like donate a mothership before you can attack.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
The Seeker missile one. The last game was a Seeker missile on a medevac. That was a win condition. She had to Seeker missile her own medevac
and send it in.
Yeah. So she played Jordan and someone else. I can't remember who the other player was. And they were like ahead the whole time, what I saw. And Scarlett was able to come back and win. And it was really epic. Good. If you haven't watched the VOD, you should watch that VOD and watch that last game because it was pretty awesome.
Definitely. Now, do you guys upload your VODs to YouTube?
We do.
Okay, and is it just /YouTube /GauntletSC2?
I don't think we have that link. I'm not sure, but if you do GauntletSC2 YouTube,
you find it.
You would find it. Gotcha. If you go to our Twitch, /GauntletSC2, our links are in there.
Right. I know we can get the VOD. We do the
and all of our VODs are free for everyone. We don't.
Right. No sub.
We don't paywall or anything like that.
Right. Right. Not yet. We're not that popular yet. We're not there. We need to hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to do that yet. I mean,
I don't get why some people do that. To be honest, because I feel like it's just one of those things. It's like, oh, I really want to see this player play. It's like, well, I have to pay to watch your replay. No, I won't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's. I get it. It can drive up your sub count and stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like if you have good content, you don't need that. You don't need that as a thing, as like a feature. I think you're better off just with good emotes and stuff like that, not hiding your replays from people.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is I just want a much larger base.
Yeah.
Audience.
Yeah.
If you have a big base audience, then you can talk about doing different things, and
right?
Ad breaks or whatever. But right now, your Twitch streamers, they have to. You're partnered, you basically have to make over $100 before you can get paid. So,
right.
That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but
I can attest to this because we have this will be like 12 videos right on YouTube, and we obviously have the YouTube monetization thing right now, and I think all in all I have like 10 cents in there. It's not an impressive number, but for us right now, it's not about the money, and I know for you, it's not really about the money so much as it's more about the content, and it's obviously nice to make money, but it's almost like it's not like my main focus. Like I'm not here to try to just make money. Like I'm here to produce content that's enjoyable, and I know that when people see it, the money will come later.
Yeah, and I mean I agree with that. Where I don't.
You're a business too, though. I mean, you're not. You're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, but at the same time,
I am and I'm not.
It's like no, you're right.
It really is.
It's like a gray area because it
really is because I want to do it.
Right.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was not a business decision.
Right.
I mean, I thought that it was a good opportunity. Let's just say that I thought that there was a chance there to create a brand that had a good reputation, that could really build itself kind of off that,
right.
route. So, and I knew I was going to lose money on it, and that's okay. I mean, because I love StarCraft, and I like competitive StarCraft and all that stuff. So,
right.
But we're definitely getting to that point where, Bob and Element are, they're getting donations, and the Twitch revenue is at a good point to where it's going to cross $100 each month.
Right.
Which means that amazing. Every month you'll get a check. So
right. I mean,
it's only up from here, in my opinion. Which is that was the biggest goal coming to BlizzCon for me, and we kind of had a come to Jesus meeting, so to speak. A few months ago, where it was like, look, guys, we have to we just have to stream more, and it's not like they were arguing with me or anything. It was like, we have to figure out a plan where we can stream more.
Right. And I mean, you
we
guys
just
doing
have
this
to.
before,
We
consistency
have
is
to.
key. If you're not,
Yeah.
if you're not doing it consistently, people don't know your schedule. They may be doing nothing and they just don't know that you're
Yeah.
home, and that's like one of
Because
those
if
things.
you plan a week ahead for an event on a Wednesday or something, let's say, and you run the event, but other channels are going to be live when you're live.
Right.
So you're missing out on a lot of viewers, but you put so much effort into this one particular cast. You're right. So it's just that's always gut wrenching. When you put that much effort into something, but you don't really get the chance to show it off. Because there's just so many other events. There's tons of online events right now.
Right.
Which is surprising. For how people say this game's not doing well. There's tons of people trying to make it happen out there, and I think that's definitely a good thing.
Those people are just wrong. I mean, with Proxy Tempest, them coming up, SCV Rush. I mean, there's still plenty of tournament organizers. There's you guys. There's Base Trade. I mean, they're on a slightly higher tier, I would say, only from a point of just because they've got like different sponsors and stuff, and like they've been around longer. Because like, to be honest, and I'm not pulling punches. I think you're a higher quality than Base Trade. I agree. Just from a view standpoint, again, I don't want to pull punches. I'm not trying to.
Hey, listen, 1080p, 60 frames a second talks for itself. Okay.
Exactly, it really does.
I don't want to take shots at them or anything like that.
No, but what I would like to see though is I would like to see the wealth be spread. I feel like Blizzard kind of needs to pay you guys a visit and say, hey, we want you guys to also, host some stuff too, just because your quality's good. And I know you guys can handle it.
We would love to. I mean, we would love to cast other things, and Gauntlet. In my vision of sponsoring it has always just been like, hey, let's build up a huge base, whatever number that is, like subs and whatever, and be able to live off that, and
that's the dream
for those guys to be able to cast other events and get offered events. And
absolutely. Well, and I think, like I said, I don't think that you guys are or those two are that far off. I think a little bit more time here. I think everyone in the community is really starting to come around, and they're really they're really starting to see like, hey, these guys are doing a really, really good job, and I owe them my viewership, if you will. Like I need to tune in for all that they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and just talking about consistency and stuff. I know you guys have like a couple things going right now, like different series and stuff. So we have the kind of it's called the Versus. Like we have with Scarlet, right? So we'll probably see that again. You have Amateur. What else is there? There's the Opens.
So we do a season format.
Right.
It's just a Gauntlet seasons where we do weekly events with open qualifiers, and the player who wins that gets invited to a 4-player event sometime the next week or the same week. And that's one of the ways that we keep consistent the best is having those weekly type events and season events. And that's really amateur hour. That's where we have the gold to silver or gold to diamond come and play. Or silver to diamond. It really just depends on who signs up for that.
Sure.
And we're not really married to anything. I'll say it that way. We're always trying to think of new ways to bring content. You look at Total Biscuit, who Shoutcraft Kings, and the whole kind of hidden aspect and who's the next player going to be and stuff is really cool. And it makes me think, because I think a lot about stuff like this and. Any time you can kind of change things up a little bit is always good, in my opinion. So
right? Yeah, I mean,
definitely be trying to change it up here and there.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing. That's kind of like the whole point of this show. There's nothing really like this. There never really was. There was never someone who wanted to talk to, the behind the scenes people. But it's interesting and it's informative and it's actually just like I don't know. It's almost like a revelation when you're like, holy shit, like that's super cool. Like that's something I didn't realize. You know what I mean? Like it's just giving
Uh-huh.
you that extra look, into
Yeah.
something. And it makes you kind of feel like almost like an insider. Like I'm learning something new that I never even
Uh-huh.
knew about.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So
Definitely.
so like I said, you guys are doing awesome. So what's last question about current Gauntlet? What is the schedule right now? So what's the schedule looking like? Do you guys have it laid out for a day to day basis, or how is it laid out right now?
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. We're certainly trying
Right.
to. We're busting out Google spreadsheets and stuff like that,
Nice.
and really
Making it
trying to get a
happen.
process down to uh, to just get things done. Sometimes we sit around the Skype chat and we just kind of look at each other. You know,
Staring at Bob,
you're
and
sitting there
Bob's like,
talking. Yeah, you're talking for over a couple of hours. I get on Skype and I got 50 messages, and at the end of it, there hasn't been a decision made, and everyone just goes to bed.
right.
You know,
It's
and
tough.
then I go to work the next morning and I sit around and wait for a few hours and no one's talking, and so you just have to. We're getting there. I'll just say
Right.
that we're trying to because everyone's got different schedules
Right.
and
Unless you're
different.
full time, and I'm in the same boat. But it's tough having quote unquote a real life and a real job. Outside of
Yeah,
esports, especially when it's something you have so much passion for. Like my wife does not understand this at all. Like she hates it. Like to put it simply, she hates it. She thinks it's stupid, but she puts up
yeah.
with it. So I love her.
Well, I mean, I work a lot, so
Yeah.
for me, it's like I don't necessarily want to do all the nitty gritty,
Right.
small detail things, and
You want to be in it, but you're like I can't donate all that time. Like
yeah,
I
exactly,
can donate other
exactly.
things though. Like you said, like you backed it. It's like I have the money.
And I don't want to say that I'm better than anyone, but when I'm sitting at a desk all day and I come home, it's like I don't necessarily want to do, Team Liquid Thread or something like that,
Right.
or
I,
contact players.
right. Hey,
It's not like that's below me, but if
you're tired.
time to me is just kind of like it stares me in the face more,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting at work all day,
You know.
and I have to get things done. I have a deadline or something,
Yep.
and so,
Yep.
and I'm not saying that to put any pressure on my guys or anything. I just,
Well, no, and I'm sure that
we've talked about it, and
yeah.
we've definitely got a spreadsheet and a process going just to smooth things out. And
Right.
that's really where we're going. We want to smooth it out and have it to where we can just operate week in, week out, no problem at all.
Definitely. I mean, time is a precious commodity. There is only it's a true statement when there's only so many hours in a day and you can only get so much shit done.
Yeah,
So you really got to choose what gets done, really, and that's what
yeah,
it comes down to. And it sounds like you guys have a good handle on it, which is good. Because
we do, and we've definitely built up a level of trust, and that's always important,
right,
because no one wants to make a mistake.
right,
That's just common in all walks of life. People are just afraid to make a mistake, so they don't want
sure,
to do anything. It's way easier to say, "Well, I wasn't told to do this," or
right. It's
whatever.
I'm not gonna say the same right because I don't even remember what it is, but I know it's something like this. But it's easy to do nothing and fail than to try and fail. Does
Yeah,
that sound about right?
yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
And that's not really reflective on us, but it's just like
yeah,
an opponent that is always trying to attack you, right?
yeah,
It's like you can't just beat that down and it goes away forever. You always gonna have to stay on your toes, so to speak.
exactly, exactly. Well, that's awesome. Well, and then moving forward, so we talked about where Gauntlet has come from, where it's at currently, which is in a really nice place. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about going forward. Let's say a year's time where me and you are both at BlizzCon. What
Yeah,
kind of what kind of
absolutely.
conversation are we having like 1 year from today? Like what is on the plate? Like what do you have planned, or what do you want to achieve within the next year?
Well, certainly
That's a lot of questions. I'm
at
sorry.
we're looking to grow a lot. We really are. We're looking to step up pretty much every aspect of what we do. And I'm looking to. I've got big goals. I mean, I'm kind of scared to publicly share them, but I really believe that our content can grow a lot, and I think that we can land some pretty sizable sponsorships. In my opinion, I think that our atmosphere and our stream and just how positive the guys are, I think we can do it. I think that we have the potential to maybe do an offline event someday.
I would, dude. I would
where
love that. Would be
where Bob and Elman could cast on site.
So that would
I've
be
talked with some people
so would that
about
be a Canadian tournament?
It would probably be in the U.S.
Okay. Well, wait. Okay, am I wrong? I thought they lived in Canada.
They do live in Canada.
Okay, never mind. I'm right.
I would, they would have to come.
We do it in Houston. We do it in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, you could always do it here in Minneapolis.
Somewhere.
We could meet halfway.
We could do it somewhere, but that's the goal. We want to just keep producing events and get more subs, get more people in there, and we're not necessarily worried about anyone else. We're just kind of looking to improve our own stream, and I think competition is healthy, and I think we bring something that not many other organizations can do right now.
Well, no, and they got to be looking at you, and they kind of got to be scared somewhat. When they're like, holy shit, like these guys are getting subs, like they're getting views, we got to step up our game. And, it's a true statement that, competition breeds excellence.
It does. I mean, I've seen other people start to step up their like transition game and, just trying to really step up the production value. I mean, I'm not going to say that we influenced StarCraft, but, when you look at the WCS stream, that's really kind of the pinnacle of, what you look for in production value.
Right. As soon as something goes wrong, we just bitch and moan, right? Like when they were down in, when they're at Copa America and they at the International. Oh my! The audio were like, unwatchable. This is fucking turn it off.
Dead game.
Bob, what did you do? Yeah. Why is Bob there?
So, I mean, we're just going to do the best we can, and in the future, we just hope we can get opportunities. We're definitely going to be going out and trying to secure the rights to broadcast stuff. I mean, I definitely want to broadcast events that are from other organizers or qualifiers, whatever it may be.
Like some English restreams and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we just think that the best man should get the job. So that's kind of where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be actively looking to do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, just based on what you guys have done, I have 100% confidency that you guys will make something of yourselves and of Gauntlet in general. Like I feel like not too long from now, Gauntlet will be the pinnacle of, at least for right now, for like grassroots. Whether you guys start branching into the offline lands, or if you just stick to online stuff, like I still think it will be like what everyone strives to be like. Like you'll be something that is emulated by others.
Yeah, and I think it's a silent deal. I mean, because there's people who are still bigger than us, so
sure. Well, and
we really can't ignore that, and we don't get hosted a whole lot. We get hosted sometimes, but I do think there is some kind of uncertainty. I don't know if they fear us, but I definitely know they respect the level of production that we do, and that's part of the reason why I want to come out to BlizzCon too, because I want to meet some people face to face, and I'm not looking to put anyone out or anything like that. I mean, I think we all want StarCraft to grow. If StarCraft in general has more viewers, then everyone should, in theory, get a piece of that, right?
Exactly.
So I would really like to see organizers work together in a more, I don't know, open, transparent way.
Sure.
We've tried in the past with schedules and spreadsheets and stuff like that, but it really doesn't matter. Like we had plenty of events where we had a noon time slot and no one else was casting at all. And 10 minutes before the event, someone else decides to do just a random event, so that
I'm so random.
And that knocks us off. And I understand that business is business and they just want to do it, but I want there to be some kind of level of courtesy, right?
Right.
When Bob and Element work their ass off for
No, it's a good point.
several hours, and someone decides to stack your event, kind of short notice. It's just it's a question of why,
Right.
So I just hope that in the future, schedules and stuff like that can be respected a little bit more.
Definitely.
Because a lot of times people don't put, I'm in a group and with Blizzard, and there's a spreadsheet, right, where you go and post your events and you talk about things, and it had been going pretty good, but lately people just don't post on there much at all. I mean, I know BlizzCon's around, but a lot of times people cast stuff that's not on the schedule, let's say, and no one's forced to, and I know that it's a cutthroat world out there in streaming, but I think that would be one of my goals, honestly, for the next year, is that the organizers and stuff can really work together better to grow StarCraft as a whole, because I think sometimes it's just too divisive. If you don't like us, or if you don't like Wardy, or if you don't like Base Trade, and they're the only ones on, well, you're not gonna. Maybe you'll just go watch a different game or close Twitch completely, right? So, I don't know.
I think
when all three of us, like, this is just an example, but if all three of us are streaming, it's like it's just not really good for any of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is to a certain degree, but we don't need to fight like that. And it's not like we are fighting, but
no, but I know what you mean.
Hopefully
you're fighting for viewers, and you're fighting for for the time. Like you said.
Well, and it's Twitch is the only. It's like Twitch is ABC, and that's the only cable channel out there.
Right? Because let's face it, no one's watching Hitbox. Like, no one's streaming on Google, or on YouTube.
Exactly.
Like, that's not a thing.
There's no, if you want to do that cable TV comparison, Twitch is just like your channel 5. Yep. That's it. It's like the 1950s when you have one channel or whenever.
Right.
So that's it. So if you go to the StarCraft or whatever section, it's just, that's it right there. I mean, that's
what you have to choose from.
That's it. There's no real competition. Esport is definitely infant, very much so. And so I would just like to see a little more collaboration in terms of like scheduling and trying to do things that, and I don't want to say that they shouldn't cast or anything like that, but I just think it would be great if there was more segueing into each other.
Right. It's more about future scheduling than anything else. It's not like you're asking them to stop what they already have planned, but it's like, okay, like, we're trying to make this so like that we can all benefit.
Oh yeah, I avoid those guys all the time. I mean, I try to all the time. I mean, it's when things pop up. I think that's when
it's annoying. It's like, well,
but I'm completely biased,
this came out of nowhere, and now you're all of a sudden, and you guys have like kind of like a good time slot, like at noon. Like, okay, so like it's not good for me personally, but like that's a good time for Europeans to tune in. That's like what primetime evening for them basically. And then for people that work different shifts though, but like I said, I still tune in during my lunch, so you guys still give me something to do during lunch when I'm not playing Hearthstone.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's a good slot. So I feel like if like they're like mooching in on that time frame, it's like, look, this is what we have scheduled. This is like when we can do it. You guys could literally do it any other time. Like, you have to wonder if it's somewhat intentional some of these times.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, if you don't want to see us be the top of the StarCraft channel, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anyone does, but sometimes it does feel that way.
Right.
And let's just Cyan Esports said, yeah, but it's not as if Base Trade or Wardy can just take a day off and do nothing, to step aside for everyone else to have some time without competition, right? Well, I think there's a flip side to that, and I think Topher even said it himself. It says, why overlap if you can avoid it? I mean, why, if you don't have anything planned, and you just want to, it just feels like you're smothering me at that point. If you have something planned and you want to do something, then I'm going to avoid you.
Right.
That's just what I'm going to do. So, it's just happened a few times. So
right. Well,
that's just a hope for me that there's just a little more clarity, I guess, in schedules.
Right.
Because scheduling is just hard. It's just hard to do because everyone's trying to make a buck, and I respect that. I respect that completely, and I would never tell anyone to not stream and to not try to do what they're doing.
Right.
But I also want StarCraft to grow as a whole. So if there's a way that we can work together, because there's always going to be some overlap, but if we can work together, then I just think that's better for everyone. If 3 organizers are holding cash opens, at the relatively same time, then one of your players is going to end up playing in multiple events. So it's just,
which you don't want that.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. So, I'll have to go back and listen to this box. I probably sound like I'm trash on these guys, but
no.
I just want to work together
you're
more.
Coming at it from and I understand this. You're coming at it from a point of view where it's like, look, I want to do well, and I want you to do well. I just don't want to be fucked with. Like when it feels like it's intentional, it's like the walls are closing, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you so close to me? Like, we can spread out. You don't need to be right next to me. We don't need to do this so close. And especially when you when you're saying, like, when these things are just like popping up, where it's like it feels like an intention, like you're literally just hosting something to throw it in front of my slot, where it feels like you're just trying to not let me get views or what, or whatever, I mean,
and everyone's got the right to do whatever they want, but there's been times where we don't get hosted, and you kind of feel like maybe you should have because. For whatever. So I don't want to think that, there's nothing I can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. If other organizers are going to stream at the same time, last minute, then that's just what's going to happen. So, I can't do anything about that.
Right. But
at the same time, that is something I wish for, that
it's a courtesy.
We can, and I don't think that's too idealistic to say. I mean, there's ways that you can avoid a little bit of overlap. I mean, just an hour and a half between start times would do wonders for all of us. Instead of all starting at 12 p.m. Central, one can start at 10, one can start at 12, one can start at 2, something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be that, and it doesn't really have to be anything. I just think that
and you think
in general, we still haven't quite figured out as a whole how to maximize the game, on Twitch. And I think that should be a goal for everyone to grow StarCraft in general.
Well, you think
I don't see why you want to have the same people in 3 different channels at the same time of day, because everyone's trying to support everyone. Why can't you spread it out a little bit?
Well, and you think it would be more beneficial to work together, because like let's use hosting as an example. Let's say like after my event is done, right, and I host it, like, oh cool, like he had 200 viewers and he just tossed those guys all to watch mine, like that's amazing. Maybe I'll reciprocate next time mine's done beforehand, and I'll send all mine over there. Now you're both benefiting. Everyone in stream is happy because they're still getting content. It's like, oh cool, they work together, kind of like they're not the same, but like they're willing to kind of flip flop. Whereas like if you're just like cutthroat and just trying to fight at the exact same time, like it's a circle jerk.
Yeah,
that's what it turns out.
Yeah, and I mean, so I'm reading the chat here, and I think it is easier said than done to not have overlap. I think overlap is going to happen. So I do agree with what Sion is saying here. I mean, we just want to. I would just like to see things improve. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, we have schedules. We have mechanisms to do it.
Yeah.
So why not just give it more of a shot?
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. To a lesser extent, like Sion. Today we were talking. Me and him talk. And we've had him on our show and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing a thing. What time is yours? I don't want to. I don't want to overlap." And I was like, "Oh, it's in the evening." He's like, "Okay, good. I didn't want to have to, I don't want our stuff going." And it's little things like that. It's like, okay, good. I just didn't want to, pull anything away.
I've tried it before, and an answer I got one time was, "What good does it do for me if I avoid you?" And the question is nothing, really.
I can only guess who said that, but
so there's really nothing to say to that. I mean, if you can't. Because it's true. I mean, people are trying to earn a living here, so it's super complicated when you get down to it. Because people want um, they want
They want to make a
to
cutthroat.
make money, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and I think my thing is that I'd like to reach a compromise because I think we could do better together, all of us.
Well, because here's the thing: you don't want to have to. You don't. Why make a conflict when you can get along? Why do that? But I feel like too, at the same time, like I think part of that is that they're scared. They know if you guys flex your muscles, to an extent, you could really cut into them, and they would suffer. And I feel like that's why they're really defensive on it too. They're like, it's like
here's the thing.
know.
We could not broadcast as much as some of these other people.
No.
I mean, it's just not possible for us.
Right. You're not full time. It's not something you guys have the literal time for.
Yeah, exactly. So, we just it really just comes down to, hey, let's try to get a spreadsheet together so that we can plan out events.
Right.
That's really all it comes down to. Because there's tons of times, but there's really a golden time for streams. That's in North America Central Time. That's kind of earlier in the morning to about 3:00 in the afternoon, 3 to 4 o'clock. That's really the golden time right there. So you've got a bunch of hours there. Of course, you're going to overlap some, but
right.
You
can at least try. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah. And we need to do better too. I mean, we can certainly improve in that regard too. But if someone doesn't post their event on there, then it doesn't do any good, right?
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I feel like that was pretty therapeutic. Actually, I felt like we got a lot of kind of. We made a little progress there, where we kind of got some of that aggression and kind of brought some of that to light, and I think that's good. I think when you repress that kind of shit, that's when it kind of eats at you, and that's when you get kind of hateful and shit and negative, and that's not good. Yeah. We want to keep it positive.
I do want to keep it positive. Absolutely. I mean, I put a lot into this.
Oh, I can tell. Because if you weren't positive, StarCraft. You'd be name calling. You'd be calling out who's saying what, who's doing what. But you're not. You're taking the high road. And I 100% respect that.
Yeah, I really don't want to call anyone out. I mean, I disagree with a lot of what happens in the scene, and I do. I disagree with a lot of stuff. I try to keep out of a lot of it. But, I mean, I just want the game to be bigger and better.
That's what we're all here
That's the end of the day. And I think we can all push each other to do better. I mean, I see what other organizers do, and I get ideas from them. I think we all learn from each other.
Absolutely.
For me, it's definitely a passion project. So I'm definitely coming at it from a different angle than other people are, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But I still think that if we work together, we can all grow. And I hope that, and you asked me this time next year. Hope this time next year, all the StarCraft streamers are doing much better.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we want to be having this conversation in person, right?
Yeah, exactly. that everything is improving, and that's and that everyone's happy and friendly. And I think there's a lot of friendliness in the scene right now, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
So
I think the community is actually in a much better place right now.
I do too.
When I see the help a noob thread, I mean, I've been in there sometimes when it's earlier. Yeah. In StarCraft's life, when it was just cancer, like holy shit, like why would you even post in there? Where I feel like as our community as a whole, like even though we've gotten smaller over the years, I feel like we're having a renaissance, like with all like the new stuff that's happening, our new content creators, because there's been a need to fill that void because we've had others drop out and just stop doing it. But with StarCraft's mods, with the MMR stuff, just everything, I feel like we are actually getting more users on, and we're really almost. I don't want to say reviving because that makes it sound like it was dead, but like I said, I feel like we're having like a renaissance of where people are bringing their passion back into the game. Like I feel like they're reconnecting, like with Legacy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's really entertaining to watch. The games have been really good, and WCS, I think, for all of its detractors, has really done a good job of getting players tournament time.
Yeah.
Booth time in front of a crowd. And I think there's a lot of positive things that come out of that. And it's just been an awesome year. And this BlizzCon is just so hyped. Like I'm so happy to be here.
Definitely. I'm excited for you. like I said, my counterpart there, guys, Zilly's there, and tomorrow I'm gonna upload some of his VODs that he shot on his way. He took like a 12-hour bus ride from Oakland to LA, and it's not that entertaining. I'll make sure I speed it up, but it's kind of a fun thing that we're doing to kind of show what how he got there, and for us that can't experience it firsthand, it's kind of like an inside thing. He's gonna be doing some interviews and stuff, so it'll just kind of be an interesting thing. But yeah, so we kind of talked again. We kind of went over, the past of Gauntlet, where you started from, where you're at right now, and into the future, and it's a bright future. And like I said, I just know that you guys are going to be one of the ones that succeed. I can just tell, like that all the hard work that you guys put in, it just shows. It's
I appreciate that.
It's something that's so. Like it literally is inspiring, really. Like I'd be lying if I said one of the reasons that I wanted to start the show wasn't because I watched one of your events and realized like, hey, like these guys are pretty small time, but like look at the content that they can create and look at their production value, Mm-hmm. And like I said, I mean, even people that know that the DankShrine, our beginnings were horrendous. Like I watched our first video like last week. It was awful. Like just quality. Just like content shit, it was awful, and I'm glad we're in a better place now. And
yeah, that's to be expected. You're definitely going to have some bumps along the way.
Yeah, it's all about growing, and you can't get discouraged. It's all about just reaching out and like I said, doing collaborations. Asking people for help. You should never be afraid to ask for help. And like I said,
and people don't like being told that their content sucks.
No.
They don't like it when you say that, and that was one of the things that we went through. Definitely at Gauntlet was just being able to accept that when your idea sucks or your video sucks or whatever,
right.
You really just have to not take it personal and
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's how we do. We really want to bring the best that we can. So a lot of things are talked about, and anyway.
But yeah, so like, okay, so we kind of, like I said, we kind of talked about the meat and potatoes. One thing I wanted to hit on too is BlizzCon again here, because we kind of talked about that at the beginning, and we kind of previewed like what we thought, who was going to win and whatnot. What else are you looking forward to though? Like what else? Like I know that we have like the panels going on. We've got Shoutcraft. That holy shit! Should we talk about that for a second? Shoutcraft Kings.
And Shoutcraft.
What the? I didn't see that coming. Did you? Like I just thought we're going to do it this month.
I did see it coming. A couple of days before it was announced, I found out about it, and I'm just super excited about it because Total Biscuit and In Control are just two of the best personalities in the scene.
Agreed.
Casting and everything that they do. I have just unimaginable amounts of respect for both of them, really. So it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
Definitely. So, I mean, speaking of that, I forget, I think it was Volts who said that he saw Stefano come online for NA. So that's like a rumor, like, ooh, like we're probably going to see Stefano at Shoutcraft. So you heard it here. You heard it here first that Stefano is going to be on. I'm just going to confirm that unofficially that he'll probably be there.
So other things I'm looking forward to is StarCraft HD remake. I'm pretty sure that's going to be announced. I haven't heard anything either way, but
well, let's hang on real quick. Let's pause on that because I do want to hit on that just a little bit. Do you think that if they do that, it'll be more like StarCraft 2 graphics, StarCraft 1 gameplay, for the most part?
In my opinion, I think it'll be rewrapped in the original engine.
Okay.
With just
they'll update. Maybe they'll update it a little bit. They'll make it a little more user friendly.
Because I think the elitist community, the hardcore community would be really pissed off if you put StarCraft 1 into the StarCraft 2 engine and like pathing and stuff got changed.
Right.
It'd be cool if they fixed a couple little bugs here and there, but for the most part, I don't anticipate it will look nearly as good as StarCraft 2. I think it'll look a lot better, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll be within the same engine, basically.
Right. Do you think that will kind of like take over like Brood War as we know it though? Like, do you kind of think like if that happens, they'll kind of be like, well, it's the same game, like let's just switch to this version?
Yeah, I mean, from what I see with all these former players going back to Brood War,
or like Jadon already.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Korea is going to start up another Brood War League and play with that HD remake, and I think that's awesome. That's
I
great.
think that's really honestly only good for the community too, because I think that's gonna bring a lot of us back into Brood War. Like I don't know, did you play Brood War when you were younger?
I play a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so like I played. This is embarrassing. So I played StarCraft for the first time on N64. So I don't know if you've ever had to experience that, but it's different. But
I actually didn't play Brood War. I played just the StarCraft
right.
one.
Well,
It was before Brood War came out.
right. But you're still familiar with like
Oh yeah,
graphics
yeah.
and yeah. But I think it kind of will bring some. I'm not going to stop playing StarCraft 2, but if the HD remake does come out, I can tell you that I probably will play StarCraft 1 too, and I can tell you that our show might also like meld into the both of them. You know, like kind of like oh, we're no longer just like a StarCraft 2 show. We're a StarCraft in general. You know,
Mhm.
the circumference of StarCraft in general. You know,
Yeah. And I think like Korea, they've always loved StarCraft One, and I think
mm-hmm.
it's fitting for that to happen. I think it's beautiful in many ways that if StarCraft gets remade in HD and they do another league over there, I think that's just fantastic, really.
Definitely.
Because StarCraft Two over there is just not the same.
No, it never was.
It's just a romantic factor, right? You can't
Yeah,
really put your finger on it. It's just it's a thing where they love those players and they grew up watching them, and so yeah, I think it's. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of that, and I'm super excited about WCS 2017. Um, I see Sign in here ask. I don't know if he's asking me, but WCS 2017. Uh, this is a tough one. So ideally, I would like roughly the same system, but with more tournaments.
right.
I'd like to see MLG come back to North America and do North American StarCraft
Some
events
Red Bull
on a
battlegrounds and stuff.
on a circuit, type thing where we um, do that. So
Definitely.
I would like to see that, and I'd like to see like ESL over in Europe doing events. And I like the format this year. I see a lot of. I agree with a lot of both sides of the argument there of
I
what it's
think
done.
yeah. I mean, I think the region locking in general was a necessary thing, and the way I think it honestly should be is only your circuits should be what's region locked, but then we should still have international set tournaments. So your WCSs should be open game. Or I'm sorry, your DreamHacks should be open game. Things like that. That are still partnered with Blizzard. Those will still have your
Yeah.
WCS points, but those will be
Well,
global events.
so more global events, and that's what's really interesting to me is that Pro League is gone, and these teams are gone, and Blizzard has just announced basically like a support system for heroes, I believe,
Right, whether like paying
where they're going to
salary.
be. Yeah, so it makes me wonder what StarCraft is going to have in store because
Well,
now we have a microtransaction system, we've got
yeah.
DLC. And
Here's the
I
thing
know they
though.
said they aren't going to do more DLC, but
They
now you
will.
have a revenue stream. So I feel like that could support, like Korean players or maybe other players
Yeah.
in some way. So I'm just excited about it. I feel like there's a lot of good things, things that the community's been wanting for 6 years now are now here. Like we have basically everything we've ever wanted, besides being able to view someone in game, I guess, the in
Right.
game streaming or whatever. But we have basically everything we want. So I just feel like we're in a good spot.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's only good things to come. And you were talking about heroes. The thing with heroes is heroes is kind of having like a recession. Like a lot of the pro teams like are disbanding because they're having an issue because there is like only Blizzard tournaments. So there wasn't no one else was hosting anything. There was no other, there was no IEMs. There was no, you know, ESCs, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. There was no one
Yeah.
else that was trying to do it, and that was the problem. And even like the Hearthstone community is kind of like collapsing on itself because they're like it's kind of like the same problem. Like it's kind of like they didn't take that like out of like the StarCraft 2 book. Like, hey, we need to like get other investors interested in this. so that they can grow revenue, so we don't have to support this 100%. Like we want to like support it, but we shouldn't be the only ones doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Well,
that being said,
so
I think we're
I don't think
actually in
it's
a
a
better
fair
place.
comparison. It's not a fair comparison for me to compare Heroes to
It's
StarCraft,
not the same
but
game, and that's the
I
thing too.
do. It makes me wonder, what they're going to do as far as WCS, because the Koreans are out of a job now and they're so talented. It's hard for me to believe that Mike Morheim and the Blizzard brass, will not do some kind of change to WCS that will
Yeah,
allow Koreans to participate more. And we'll have to see, because they just do so well as a company. They
yeah,
really do. I mean, they consistently beat their expected numbers,
they make the
and
best games.
they make awesome games, and they've got mechanisms in pretty much all their games to
Yeah,
keep bringing in money. So
absolutely.
it's one of those things where, what are you going to do with all that money?
Right.
And I hope that they continue to support StarCraft in the way that they have been.
And I think they will. And the last thing I wanted to hit on, and we'll stop talking about Heroes, is there's also what we don't realize is like when we think RTSs, StarCraft is the RTS. Like there's really no one that even comes close to that as an RTS. Like
Yeah,
nothing is close. Whereas like for MOBAs, you've got Dota 2, which is way bigger, League of Legends, which is way bigger, and then you have Heroes. Like you already have like two other huge games of the same exact style that people are already playing. It's already established. Like that's a tough market to break into. And I know they already had plans on it. It was something that they followed through on, and it is a good game, and it's a little bit different. You do have your more niche. You have the StarCraft, Diablo characters, from
yeah,
the different games and stuff. So they do have like that going for them as well. And I know that those games are like a lot shorter. Like I think like a long game for what Heroes is like 20 minutes, whereas like a league match can last like what, up to like 2 hours, if not
yeah.
longer sometimes. So I mean, I know that the matches are shorter, which is like that's better for them too. But anyway, we'll stop talking about that. What I would like to see Blizzard do for Korea right now is again, I want to see more worldwide stuff. Let's open up more tournaments. I mean, I think we're gonna see more seasons of SSL and GSL instead of just two. We'll probably see more. I think we might see a revival in another team league. Like I know we have like that VSL, and we have like SKT players in that, and KT players like kind of like mix match like up into different teams, which is cool. That's something I would like. I don't even know if they have an English cast set up for that, but that would be something that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Blizzard support that, and also possibly go directly into supporting like a Lima League more. We just they need to do other things then for the Korean community. Like we have enough here. Like I think like between like weekly and daily tournaments and stuff like that, and monthlies, that we're pretty established. Like we've been making it work, but with that big closure, and that's what was everyone was like. That was like the most prestigious thing. That they really just need to kind of up it over there. They need a little boost.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you're talking about Heroes and stuff like that, at the end of the day, life's not fair. It is what it is, and I, it's a bottom line business. And if Blizzard is making money through the add-ons and skins and new heroes and all
Yeah,
that stuff, then I think they're going to be happy at the end of the day. So, and Blizzard has longevity, in a major way. They're in this for the long haul. There's really no reason to think they won't be. So, just because they're not number one in all esports or whatever right now doesn't mean that they're not going to be around in 10 years.
no,
And they're going to be doing things the right way. And you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, CSGO had a huge resurgence that really baffles my mind. I mean,
right? Like no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like it like was like okay, so like the shooter like for a while like okay, so like that was like I would say like almost like one of like maybe what after Quake was like the biggest shooter. Like
yeah,
after Quake kind of died, but then it was Halo. Like Halo became like the quintessential like shooter, like team game. Even more so than I think like Call of Duty. I don't think Call of Duty ever hit like Halo 3 or Halo 2S numbers, like when they were playing that competitive, like when that was on like ESPN, like 2 and shit, like every day. And there was something else going on with that. But you're right, like it's like made a huge comeback, and it's like insane to think that it's like again the number one shooter. Like how did that even happen?
Yeah, I really don't know.
But
I think the point there is that you don't know what's going to happen, and you just kind of have to ride it out. And,
exactly.
Blizzard really pushes heroes a lot. I see Topher commenting on that, and I agree. There's really, they're doing their best, and believe me, if they're pushing it that hard, they can justify it, and they've definitely got the money to do such a thing. So I don't think it's turn around. Everyone wants me to turn around.
They want to see the back of the shirt. Let's see the back of the shirt.
All right, let's show the back of the shirt, guys. I'm gonna mute my microphone.
Okay. Bow bow chicka chicka bow bow chicka chicka bow bow wow. All right, let's see here. Gauntlet StarCraft 2. Oh, that is a good shirt. I like it. The only thing I think it's missing is the logo at the bottom. Good shirt though. That's a good shirt.
Thank you.
I said today, is it too early for me to start thinking about DankShrine memorabilia? More just for myself than anyone else. I'm not trying to market that, but I would like to have. I would have liked to have sent Zilly off with something similar. Like ask me about the DankShrine. Like what the fuck is that?
Yeah. I had to do it.
It's a good idea, man. So anyway, we were talking, kind of about WCS and BlizzCon and stuff. So so we talked about, we'll kind of see like the summit, well not the summit, but the meetings and stuff. We'll get like what's going to be new for 2017. Any other predictions? Like, do you think we're going to see like I know we have DreamHack has 3 U.S. locations this year? Like I know it's Denver and Atlanta for sure. Oh, and Austin, or is it Houston?
Yeah.
One or the other. But
I think it's in Austin. I'm not sure.
I'm really hoping they announce StarCraft at each one of those. That would be awesome.
Yeah, there's no WCS announcement yet, so it's not surprising to me that there's no StarCraft announcement for any of those games. But we'll have to see. I mean, I feel like StarCraft did well in all their offline events this year.
Yeah.
So I guess it just comes down to if it paid off or not.
Yeah. Well, and I think it did. Like I said, I think we saw like a resurgence with everything that they've implemented. So I think it definitely did pay off, and I think they're just going to want to keep up with it. Like let's make sure like the community is in like a really good spot. Like let's keep it up. Like let's keep moving forward. I really think. Sorry to cut you off. I really think MLG is going to be the one to do it. Yeah, that would be nice.
I think StarCraft's coming back to MLG. I don't have that confirmed or anything like that, but I think that's what's going to happen.
That would be really good for the community, definitely. And I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to this, but I think it actually is going to be nice when we see this next patch, right, for balance and everything changes. I think it's good. I think it's a drastic enough change where it's like it's not going to let things get stagnant and boring. We need to rethink. We need to redo things. It's like when all the betas came out and like we're seeing like all the new strats, like holy shit, that worked. Like remember like when Void Rays had the charge up, right? And like someone got the idea, was like, why don't I just charge up on these rocks before I roll into the base, and then they'll already be like more powerful. Like that was like a revelation, like when someone first thought of that. But it's like the same thing. Like we'll see new strategies. Like it keeps the game fresh. Like it's something that I'm not really looking forward to because I play Protoss and I feel like we're gonna have a hard time, but I feel like we're gonna see some good games with that. And it's a good evolution, and I think David Kim and those guys are actually doing a good job at making sure the game stays in a state of evolution.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I'm not sure I can really add too much to that. Actually.
I know I talked a lot there. I'm sorry.
The balance changes are good. I like how they're buffing the tank. I'm sure that will probably get knocked down a little bit. I don't want to see them just revert most of the changes and do that, because I feel like that's kind of Blizzard's MO, is they bring a lot of changes and then they always scale back. That's kind of their
Like
how they do things.
some of them,
And that's fine,
yeah.
but
like
as long as the game's good, the games right now are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So there's really not a whole lot to complain about from a viewer's perspective. So let's see. Oh yeah. So yeah, Activision Blizzard owns MLG, so that's why I brought that up earlier.
I mean, that's logical. That makes sense.
So that's why I think that they'll bring StarCraft through that platform again, because they've been doing a lot of updates on StarCraft recently, and I even saw Sundance tweet something about an announcement. So I feel like that's coming, staring us in the face, and
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I really think 2017 is gonna be a good year.
I agree. Well, all right. Well, it was wonderful having you on. So let's go into our little Q&A. I know we said we would get into like chat questions. I know we've had a couple of them pop up, and I've ignored them a little bit only because I knew we were gonna get into it at some point here. But let's kind of go to the chat here, guys.
Ask away.
Yeah, let's hear questions. Just say if it's for Ctone or for me, and then or both, and we'll go for the next maybe 25 minutes or so, or till ever Ctone wants to get the fuck out of here.
Let's see. Not sure what people are talking about here.
Looks like we'll probably.
We talked about a lot of good things. I mean, I'm just excited. Just excited about StarCraft. I really am. I mean, I've been around for a long time. I haven't been in the public eye, obviously, but I just have a good feeling about where we are in terms of what is all in the game and the level of support that Blizzard has shown, especially this past year with, they really brought marketing dollars to people's events.
Yeah.
And, now that you can actually pay for stuff in the game, so it's a constant revenue stream for them, and that's just awesome. I mean, who is not excited about that? I mean, it amazes me what people will bitch about these days,
Oh, you give me anything to bitch about, really.
It's just awesome.
Listen, we got our first questions here. So, who is better, Bobby or Element?
Oh man, better at what? That's the question.
It just is better in general.
Oh,
who do you like more? Who is your better friend?
Who do I like more? Yeah, that's such a good question. Such a trap.
Well, remember Element asked
Bobby is he does. Yeah, I see Element asked that. Bobby, he lurks in the shadows, man. If you step out of line, Bobby will come into the Skype chat and start going off on you.
He's the dank knight.
Element is like the guy who speaks in memes. He'll be typing in Skype, and I won't understand what he's saying because it's just a big meme. It's like an inside joke between him and Bobby. So I don't know, man. I got to go political here and say I love them both equally. Okay. I can't pick one.
Share the love. Okay, Toferdal says, Ctone, what is it like to have perfectly manicured facial hair?
Feels good, man. I got a little trim last night. Is that looking fresh?
Is that a shot at me for not having a perfectly manicured beard? Because I'm going with the mountain man. I've been growing this baby now for like three and a half months. I just have not shaved at all. I think I'm gonna go to the end of the year. I think I'm gonna use it as a stream incentive. Like maybe like once we get like 1,000 followers, like I'll shave it off live or something.
I wanted to, but I just couldn't do it. I had to clean up a little bit just in case I shake David Kim's hand or something like that.
He'd be honored to be next to this thing right now. I'm just saying, like this is a pretty epic beard right now. Let's see, what else do we have here? Bob has a secret Twitch account to watch this. No, you also have a great beard. Well, thank you.
Who's your favorite round of 8 player? My favorite, as a fan favorite, that's gotta be Neeb. That guy is just amazing. Love everything about him. But other than that, I mean, I'm gonna go back to TY. I really think he's hungry, and I don't know. There's just something about him that I really like, so I'll go with TY.
Yeah. I think my favorite's Showtime. I think we hit on that a little bit earlier. I just part of it's just because I like him so much as a player. Again, just his sportsmanship, just his attitude towards the game. Like him, just like his work ethic. But man, he does it for me right now. That's why he's like my man crush right now, I guess. Like for StarCraft, like that's my man crush.
Okay. What is your main race, and why are the other two Imba broken? Jordan asks. Well, I'm a Terran player because I have honor. I'm an honorable person, so I play Terran. The other two are Imba and broken. I mean, I'm just awful. Like I lose the Bailing bus all the time. Like it's all Imba to me. If it can blow up a bunch of my shit at once, then it's Imba.
Yeah. What rank or what league do you play in?
I play in Diamond League.
Okay, I'm also Diamond Protoss.
Yeah, I'm a forever Diamond man. But
yeah, I mean it's tough.
It says
for both of you, if you could bring back one player who retired this year, who would it be? Polt. Probably just be like I would like. Okay, don't hate me because it's not Jaedong, because Jaedong just hadn't been playing. So like, what good is that really? Like he had not been playing StarCraft 2 anyway. I love MC, but he hadn't really been doing anything either. Like he just like broke his arm like when he went hiking like in the mountains like a few months ago. So like he wasn't doing anything either. So I would honestly say Polt or maybe Hydra.
Yeah.
Just because they were at least in the community, they were doing things.
I would say Flash.
Okay.
When Flash retired and went back to Brood War, I really wanted Flash to stick around and win a bunch of events and do things like that. But so that's who I would say. I'd say Flash.
Yeah. MMA didn't retire this year though. That was like what, 2 years ago, wasn't it? Or that was longer than a year ago.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm not sure.
I feel like it was.
It was a while ago.
MMA was.
I think Flash was like 9 or 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Not that I count days or anything.
You have like a calendar. That's funny. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's get a couple more questions here. We got a little bit more time here. What else do we have? What are the other questions for either of us? So regarding Gauntlet, regarding StarCraft, anything here? Okay, yeah. Then I would say MMA. MMA did retire this year. Okay, I changed my answer. I want MMA to keep playing. Yeah.
He's just such a good guy.
Oh yeah, good talent, good guy, just all around in general. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get a Beyond versus.
Oh, he wants to do instead of Scarlet Beyond. That'd be fun. And we are. I mean, if you're watching this VOD and you skip through or whatever, Gauntlet's definitely going to be doing a bunch of unique events going into 2017. We'll keep up our season stuff, but we're going to really try to do unique content that has all ranges of skill playing. And we'll see how it goes. We're definitely looking forward to it, and we hope we can just keep growing. That's really all you can hope for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, we talked about that earlier. That's something that's just like exciting. It was like just so fun to do. It was like I don't know. It's like kind of like one of those rowdy things. It was like just like a really good time. It was a hoot.
Yeah.
To use Texas terms, right? You guys say hoot.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm
go have a hoot.
Yeah, I'll have a hoedown. All right, we're not gonna get into that. I know.
If I could pick one player to be 2v2 or Archon teammate, who would it be? That's a good one.
You pick one player to be a 2v2. Well, I'm awful, so they would have to carry me. Let's see.
I would love to play Archon with Idra. That'd be fun.
Let's see. Who is
get raged at? I'd be honored to receive that rage.
I
would love to. Who else? I'm thinking back to oldies now.
Right. I'm trying to think who's like the cheesiest Protoss. Haas. I want to play with Haas because I like to cheese. Yeah. So we would have like the ultimate cheese. I
would love to play with Scarlet actually because after what she did last week, that was so funny to see all that stuff. So I'd love to see that in game, like playing alongside. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Another player I would like would be MC because he's been like one of my favorites since Wings. He was like one of like the first players like I ever saw like a StarCraft game like of. And I've like literally have like been a fan since. Like I'm sad to see him go and go to I'm glad that he's like still doing stuff. Like he's gonna like go coach for Kongdu in League.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like glad for him, but like I'm sad to see him like actually retire this time. Like officially like okay, like 100% I'm retired.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's sad, but it's I'm happy for him. Just like with Jadon, it's like I'm sad that he's like leaving StarCraft 2, but like he's already playing 1. Like I'm sure he's already got like a shit ton of followers. Like he's gonna be fine.
He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly. All right, guys. Any other questions here? Let's get them in here before we sign off. We'll say maybe another 5 minutes. That all right, Ctone?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go till 10:10 my time or whatever. What is it? 8:10? No, 8:10. What's your time?
It's 8:05 right now.
8:05. Gotcha. We got any plans for tonight? Going to head
What's
out. I said, do you have any plans for tonight? You gonna go head out with anyone tonight or anything? Got anything planned?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go try to meet up with some people.
Nice.
And see where everyone's at what they're doing.
Element's got a good idea. You guys could do a Haas versus you. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Oh my god, those would be the shortest games, and everyone would be so pissed.
That would be fun.
One of the steps would have to be you cannot make oracles. No. Like that's like his key.
That would he would just say no. He would leave the game. He wouldn't even respond to us anymore. He'd just leave.
I'd quit.
Just ignore us. Tover says he wants to see more Chinese players in Gauntlet events. I would too. We try to get any kind of player we can, really, but China, that's so far away. The ping is just ridiculous. So we'll see. You get into the convention center tomorrow. What's you do after ceremonies? I'm gonna walk my happy butt straight to the WCS arena, and no, I'll probably take a couple of videos. I mean, I don't know, or maybe I'll just soak it in. It was pretty cool seeing just walking up and seeing that convention center and all the BlizzCon stuff there.
Definitely.
There was nerds hanging out, camping out already. I say nerd in a loving term because I'm a nerd too. But they had chairs set up and like drinks and snacks. Like they're literally camping out for tomorrow because they're gonna be the first people in the building. Like that kind of stuff to me is just cool because it doesn't make any sense. You don't have to be the first person in there. It's just something to do. It's just something they want to do.
Right. So
it's cool. I've seen a lot of people in a lot of different walks of life, and it's fun.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
It's cool to bring everyone together. That's why these events are just so awesome too. Just like the people you meet, and like just like the experience. Yeah. I mean, it's not like this. It's not the same as like going to like. Like I would say like a professional football game or like a baseball game, but it definitely has like that draw though, like where you just feel like, yes, like this is like amazing, like it's where I want to be, and like you also like, for those who've never been, you like feed off like the crowd's energy too, like when you're like in there and everyone's like hyped up and cheering and stuff, like you're just sitting there and like your adrenaline is pumping, like watching a game, and it's like ridiculous. Like it's just
this is actually gonna be my first offline event with a crowd there, so
okay, you're gonna feel.
I'm definitely gonna be. I'm gonna check it all out. I'm gonna be there for all the games tomorrow. So, I almost just want tomorrow to be here. I don't want to.
I gotta work for part of it, so it's gonna suck. But I'm gonna listen, and then for Saturday, like I said, viewing party, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay, well let's do like my last question here for you. So, what is the most? What game are you looking forward to the most for tomorrow?
So I'm definitely looking forward to Neve versus Dark the most. It's just it's the American Hope versus the Korean powerhouse who I also care about. When you look at those signature series in Dark. You really kind of get a view of how they are as a person, and I think it's super cool that he thinks of himself as the best player, and that it makes him mad that other people think that they're better than him. I love to see that kind of drive within someone. So
yeah,
definitely looking forward to that the most because I really want Neve to win, but I have tons of respect for Dark. So I just hope it's a good game, and I hope Neeb puts up a good fight.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared that Dark's gonna roll him over, but we'll see.
Like I said, I mean, it's going to be close. And like I said, as far as games, I think the one I'm looking forward to the most is going to be Beyond TY. Just because you've already seen that one, I think that's the other most interesting game. Because I really think it's a fucking coin flip. Like, go either way. And we might see some insane late game, like mech versus mech, like just some insaneness. Or it could be some...
Yeah.
Because they both play both ways. They both can play super long game, or they can both just be cheesy, or do like 2-base timings. Like, they're both capable of anything, and I think that's probably the scariest thing for both of them is like, oh fuck, he could do anything. It's really good. I think it's going to come down to the scouting.
TY, he's going to bust out that mech on innovation. Not innovation on Beyond. And we'll see. I was looking at Power One's comment there. And
yeah.
I don't know. I think Beyond is so good. I don't know why I keep doubting him.
Do you think it's because he's overhyped? Do you think it's like an overhype?
No, I don't think it's an overhype. I just feel like he just has a big target on his back.
That's true.
People know what he does, and he's talked about some kind of anxiety issues before in the past. So I wonder. I don't. For him to win a GSL without a team is just such an awesome thing. So it's like I just don't want to. I don't want to say, well, he's got to win this or something like that. Right. He doesn't. I won't be surprised at all if he wins it. I really won't. He's that good.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely. Well, it's a little after 10 after here, so we'll do a little sign off here. Ctone, do you have any sponsors you want to thank, or anyone you want to thank, or anything like that? Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Bob, Elman, and Jordan, who are behind the scenes of Gauntlet StarCraft. They really put in a lot of work to make this all go smoothly. So a huge shout out to them. And you can follow us on Twitter /GauntletSC2, Twitch /GauntletSC2. And we're super happy to be involved with the community, and we're looking forward to the future. So thanks for having me on, and looking forward to it again. You'll have to get Bob and Elman on there.
I'll get those two clowns on here sometime. Yeah,
I don't know if you can control those two once they get going.
I'll have to.
But you can try. You can try your best.
I'll have them on the mute button. I'll have to have it ready. Big. No, I'm talking.
Yeah. Shut up.
Exactly. Well, I'd like to give some shouts out too. Shout out to first to Albatos because she's watching. She did my overlays. She also did the ones that we have for the DankShrine. She does an amazing job. Really great prices. So if you guys need any work done, she does really excellent work. If you guys, any of you need overlays, to our sponsor, MMO Coach. It's a cool opportunity to be a coach as well as get coaching. I don't get coaching. I am a coach. I'm a beginner's coach for new players. I did my first coaching this last weekend. I helped the bronze player. He's up to gold now. I mean, some of that's MMR inflation, but I mean, he did learn a lot, and it's just a cool opportunity. So even if you guys want to become a coach, it's just kind of a cool thing. So it's just something worth definitely checking out. If it's something you're interested like in your spare time. And then one thing you can follow us on Twitter at DankShrine. It's always me though. Like I'm the one that runs our Twitter account. Zilly's never on there. It's always me. So if you pretty much always know it's me. But yeah, you guys can follow us on here on Twitch if you want to hit the follow button. It really does help. And then you can also follow us on YouTube. I have the link down there at the bottom, so you can just click on that, and that'll bring you to our YouTube page where we have all our old episodes and all of the VODs will be uploaded to. And yeah, I just really appreciate you taking the time, Ctone, to come on. Appreciate everyone for watching tonight. I mean, you guys really help. One thing too is, if you like what we do and you like the content that I'm making and that me and Zilly are making, please share it. I almost feel bad asking, but it's something that it's a necessary thing. The more people that watch, the better our content can ultimately become. But if you know someone who's never seen our show and you think they might be interested in, someone who likes, esports or esports talk shows, or likes StarCraft, and you think that, hey, they don't know about this, it's something interesting. It's greatly appreciated. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you need to donate money to us or anything like that, but if you have 2 seconds to tell someone about it, that's awesome. We appreciate that. Same with Gauntlet. I recommend you guys, if for some reason you're here and you've never seen a Gauntlet event, maybe you live in a cave and you just got the internet today, make sure you look at that too. So
yeah, blame Bob.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do.
Blame Bob 2016 hashtag it.
Blame Bob.
Well, man, enjoy your time at BlizzCon, and I just want to say thanks to everyone again. Take care, and then the next. Sorry, I'm droning on. The next Toast Talks will be Tuesday. This next Tuesday with Lycan. And we'll have some interesting topics to talk about. I'm sure whatever happened with BlizzCon, we may throw someone else on, but that's confirmed. We'll have Lycan for next Tuesday.
All right.
But yeah, till then, everyone take care and Ctone and enjoy BlizzCon.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.